Afrelich and Purim Sameach, happy Purim. I want to share some words of Torah with you about Purim. A brief shiur, if you will. It could be a much longer one, but we're going to try to keep it under 7 minutes if we can. And the idea is a simple one. It's a single idea that is true across the board. What do I mean? The question we have to ask ourselves when talking about the story of Purim is, Purim doesn't happen in a vacuum. The Megillah doesn't happen in a vacuum. Haman's decree against the Jewish people doesn't happen in a vacuum. The Jewish people did something wrong, and that's why God allowed it to happen. And the Gemara asks us as a question, what did the Jewish people do wrong? And the Gemara brings a series of answers. Included among them are that the fact that they went to Achashverosh's party and had a great time. The fact that they bowed down to an idol in the time of Nebuchadnezzar, who is Vashti's either father or grandfather. The fact that there was a Rifyun Yedei Min HaTorah whenever Amalek, and of course Haman is an eternal grandson, great-great-grandson, the ultimate grandson of Amalek. Whenever the Jewish people have a weakening of the study of Torah, so then Amalek rises again. Okay, these seem like very different answers, but the truth is they're all rooted in the same thing. And rooted in what Haman himself tells Achashverosh. Yeshno Am Echad, we have a people who should be one, but they're Refuzar Mefurod Bein Amim. They're scattered amongst the nations. They don't have a sense of unity. There is no cohesiveness. And therefore, let's go ahead and plot against them. And the truth is that these three ideas that I mentioned, the party of Achashverosh, the idol, and the study of Torah, are all rooted in a lack of unity. What do I mean? Very simply, when somebody goes to a party, what do they want? They want the best steak. They want the most chashuva, the best bottle of wine. They're not interested in sharing what they have with other people. When that's their approach, and they're driven by lust and desire, as it says in Mishlei, L'ta'ava yivakish nifrad, person that desires something, he desires to do it alone, they're not interested in sharing it. That's the ultimate lust, the ultimate desire. Okay. Tzelem, the idol is, of course, polytheistic. It's the opposite of monotheism. Monotheism means one God, the unity of God. Whenever I bow down to an idol, God forbid, as God forbids it. Whenever I'm engaged in something other than God, what is that? That's a lack of unity. That's a lack of the oneness of God in my life. Unfortunately, that's Tzelem. And then, of course, there's Rifyun Yedei Min HaTorah. The Zohar, which is the lack of the study of Torah. The Zohar HaKadosh, Holy Zohar tells us, Yisrael v'horaita v'kudesh abrichu chadu. The Jewish people and God and the Torah are one. In other words, how do we access God? How do we relate to God? How do we become one to God and cling and cleave with God? The answer is through the study of Torah. And when we weaken that, we weaken our sense of unity with Him. So we need to make up for it. And therefore Chazal have established different mitzvot that we do on Purim. And these, of course, are the reading of the Megillah, the party that we have together, the sending of food to other people, the giving of tzedakah, and then the study of Torah. These all are the way that we fix and correct the terrible things the Jewish people to bring about the decree upon them. And by doing so, we're guaranteeing that no decree comes upon us again. In today's world, with Iran threatening us, it's worthwhile considering, of course. Suda, party. I just mentioned that a person who's lustful and just driven by desire, that type of a person is alone, even when in a room full of many people. So how does the Suda do it? Rashi on the Megillah tells us that when we have the Suda, we should invite other people. Don't have a Suda alone. Share. Do it as a community. Foster a sense of community. And bring people together to share what you have with others. That's unity. Mishloach manot, sending gifts of food to other people. Who do you send mishloach manot to? Your best friend? What's the point in that? Your best friend knows that you love them. You want to do that, go ahead and do that. But ideally, who do you want to send mishloach manot to? To the destitute, to the emotionally depressed, to the widows, to the orphans, to those who feel like they're estranged from the community. Send them mishloach manot. And by doing so, you help them feel like they're part of the community. Matonot lavyonim, gifts to the poor. You want to support the poor because people that are financially oppressed, financially very poor, they feel like they're living on a different socioeconomic level than you, and they might be. But as a result, they feel isolated, and therefore bring them back in by giving them money. A very interesting custom that's, I don't know when it started, but it's become much more popular in the past few years. It's called Yeshivas Mordechai HaTzadik, where people gather together in the shuls and the yeshivas, and they learn with children on Purim. Why? Because Purim shouldn't be a time of just performance of mitzvot. There should be a time for study of Torah as well. And then, of course, the reading of the Megillah, which is perhaps the most famous of the mitzvot of the day of Purim, How should that be done? God forbid a person is sick. So you read alone. Somebody comes to read for you. But on top of that, the best way to do it is in a shul with many people. Barovam hadrat melech. The beauty of the king should be done barovam with many people. Why? Because the many people gathering together engenders that sense of achdut, that sense of unity. And that's what we're aiming for. That's what we're going for. May we be zocha to merit the calamities that have befallen the Jewish people throughout history, coming to an end with the becoming of Mashiach Tzidkeinu b'meher v'yameinu in Yerushalayim, where all the Jewish people will gather as one to welcome the one Mashiach, to welcome the fact that God's universality will be recognized throughout the world, as we say in the end of Aleinu, v'hayom ayom ahu yeh Hashem echad u'shmo echad. That unity, that's what we're ultimately going for. May you merit to have a wonderful and happy Purim, a Purim where the community gets together and feels a sense of family, a sense of unity. Happy Purim.